Do I ever find love, or am I still waiting? Am I still waiting? Hey everybody. Uh, for those of you who don't normally see me live, we started a long time ago the tradition of me starting with a song only because I didn't know if the audio was working. So I didn't think I'd be streaming this morning. Thought I we'd press the big red button at 8, and then I thought I'd go back to bed, take a nap before I went to work. Speaking of which, that work thing's gonna have to happen soon. Gonna have to get in the car and go. So we launched the Kickstarter. Oh, wow. I should be watching chat. Yeah. Hang on a second. I gotta save me, Mubot. Mubot has the chat. I'm sure that the name of the chat is wrong. We're all adults, right? We all know how this works. So it's when we stream D&D, we'll have a live producer who will make sure that everything is named properly. Thanks, Heroes Try Hard. Thanks, Where the Frack is Larkin. Thanks, Lakaim the Learned. Thanks, everybody, for... we launched the Kickstarter this morning at 8 o'clock, and by 8:32, we had hit our goal of 50,000. And that money goes to the art. I was worried that people would be like, wow, that's a lot of money. Even though we worked really, really hard to make sure that whatever you're pledging for is a reasonable amount for the thing you're getting. $30 for a book, $20 for a PDF, but that hopefully you see when you see the art, which you've already seen some of. You've seen the dragon art, you've seen a piece from the inside, interior piece from the inside, where that money is going. I mean, we want this to be a high quality competitive product. Remember to breathe, Ishtar Allure says, and maybe smoke your pipe. Those two things are... So, we've already unlocked the minis. We're making minis. I realized talking to people online, there may be some sticker shock with the mini pledges because one mini, it's a big mini is the thing. I don't know how big exactly, but it's going to be a large dragon mini is $80. $80 for one mini, $300 I think for all 5. The pledge manager may let you buy them a la carte. No promises on that. But it's based on the cost of goods, and that's how much I was spending on Ultraforge minis, which are really nice minis. And it's the result of it's the curse of we're not a big miniature company, and we're not going to be making, I don't think, we'll find out, we're not going to be making 10,000 of these things. So limited print runs, that's the rule, right? Limited print runs are always less. Somebody once asked why we needed to do a Kickstarter when I already make books. Technically true, but Amazon makes them, and they cost something like 10 times, some ridiculous amount to print because they print one at a time. When you order one of my novels, they print one and send it, and it's crazy. So limited print runs increases size. We are currently... Oh yeah, no, Anthony Sixto is doing his stuff. Anthony Sixto is world class. If you haven't clicked on his ArtStation to look at his stuff, he's a good friend of mine. He's one of the few people I know that thinks about movies the same way I do. We had lunch the other day, and he said, I really wanted to talk to you about Last Jedi, and then I watched your video, and I was like, oh, I literally agree with everything you said. So he's a good friend of mine. His art is brilliant, and he's going to be doing the dragon concepts. You're going to see more of those. Somebody just said, was Matt on? Did I miss it? Which makes me feel like maybe something happened. I gotta check with my people, make sure that... Tell your South Africa friends, Lars said, that they've been taken care of. We had to pick our battles regarding where we ship to. We're shipping to most places, but not every place. But there was a great hue and cry regarding South Africa, so I went to Lars, who's in charge of shipping. If it wasn't for Lars, Jerry, Anna, Tom Schmuck, whom you haven't met yet, this would not have happened. This whole thing sort of started when Lars said, "Man, I'm just going to produce this," because he knew if he didn't, that it would never get done. So Lars is handling all the shipping stuff. He's also dealing with all the mini stuff. Jerry has been helping me with all of the Kickstarter stuff, all the web stuff. He's handling the pledge manager. Is the highest pledge for the minis limited to a certain amount? Do I have to be fat? No, there's no limit. There's no limit to the number of minis. The only limit to anything, the only limit is when the Kickstarter is over, that's it. We may make more minis in the future, right? There's 5 different ages for 5 different dragons, and we're only making 1 age for each dragon. But these dragon minis you can only get during the Kickstarter, just like the limited edition shirt and one of the stickers, the radio sticker, and the hardcover. The leatherette hardcover are only available during the Kickstarter. There's no limit to them, except once the Kickstarter is over, that's it. There is a limited number of signed editions. That's the Colvillian level. It's like a normal villain, except with Cole. That maximum pledge level, I'm going to sign 1,000 copies of the book and probably personalize them. 1,000 seems like a lot, but it's 200 times less than what John Green did. That guy was crazy and he cheated. He didn't sign the books. He signed pieces of paper, put them in the book. 7,000 from the final goal. Oh my God. Well, that means we're streaming, folks. That means we're gonna. That means, you know what I would love? My heroes are Linus Tech Tips. Go watch those guys and you see what I would like to do. I'd like to have space to be... I need space. I'd like to have space to be able to produce videos there and do interviews there and play lots of tabletop games at the studio. The price, that number that we came up with was based on $2,500 a month rent for 3 months. 3 months, 3 years, because that's the minimum lease we're going to have to sign. And it was amazing how many people I knew were like, wait, why are you doing this? Why not just, I've got a big apartment. Why not just blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how, like literally a friend of mine has a house and has a huge living room. And he goes, you can use my living room. And apart from the fact that obviously we can't take $10,000, it'll be more ultimately, $10,000 worth of gear in and out of his house every, we don't know when, Friday night. And there's going to be a huge, massive table that I'm having custom made that you guys aren't paying for that. I'm paying for that. Apart from the obvious part of that, I was like, it's not big enough. It needs to be about 700 square feet, 20 by 30. And that's the minimum. If it was more, then that'd be better. So are there any plans for more stretch goals? Not that I am aware of. We worked really hard to make sure that what we were doing, we believed we could do. And we weren't promising anything we hadn't done a lot of research on. And my friend Jerry just said 2468. Who do we appreciate? Lars. So go back to the Kickstarter, refresh, and you will see new pledge levels for all the new stuff. It's all more expensive than the old stuff, by the way. It's the nature of the beast. So you should be able to go in and change your pledge levels. There will be a pledge manager coming in the next couple of weeks. The pledge manager will let you go in and order 5 shirts if you want. Somebody asked about women's tees, and I don't know the answer to that, but I believe in the people that we're partnered with. So can we get a digital backer pledge? We get all the digital content, PDF, playtest draft, stream, without all the physical stuff and shipping. That's a good question, Luxardus. I will look into that. I'm not going to promise anything now because the way Kickstarters fail is they get excited and they pledge stuff. They promise stuff that they haven't done research on. So every refresh adds another $300. What's the size of the regular shirt? It's up to you. It's up to you. We can do, I think, up to 5XL. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's not, you're not pledging for a specific size of shirt. You'll get to, via the pledge manager, you'll get to pick your shirt size. Will the Gemstone Dragon models be publicly accessible? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna one of those things where I'm gonna have to go do research. Will the teeth of the dragon be included in the new items stretch goal? I don't know, Homicidal Dolphin. I almost said Homicidal Dragon. I don't know. That's a good question. If they're not, the only reason they're not is because they don't directly relate to strongholds. Okay. That's a big one. And I would like to produce other books, including a stuff you can rip off from my campaign. And that'll have all sorts of stuff in it that isn't in the stronghold. Doesn't have anything to do with strongholds. You'll see a preview of some of the magic items you can get. You have already seen one of the magic items you can get, the Codex Terranosus. And if you remember what the Codex Terranosus does, the full stats for that and the history of it are all going to be, and many more codices like that. The Codex. Oh no, I can't remember them. I'm pretty flustered. So. All right, well, Jerry just told me that we had $170,000 in. It's a lot of money. People were like, "Oh, you'll get funded." I'm like, "You don't understand how much we're asking for." But this means that we can afford to. This means that we can afford to rent space to stream my next game. And that's astonishing to me. That's, in some ways, that's scarier to me than making minis, which we've never done before. There is a signed copy level yet, Moldy617. Stand by. Lars is live as we're doing this, going in and adding the pledge levels. And the maximum one is you get a signed copy of the book and everything else. So at some point, I've got to go to work. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions. This is huge. We're basically birthing a company here, I think. I talked about Linus Tech Tips. Look at those guys. And the other guys that I love are these guys. These are also my heroes. The guy, Monty Cook, I've never met in person. I think we were in the same office for a little while, physically, like one day. But Charles Ryan, who is his business guy, is a good friend of mine. And that's the kind of stuff we want to do. That's the kind of quality we want to achieve. And you people are making that happen. And I didn't have any idea. Is there any idea that I didn't think, I was very skeptical that we would hit all our goals at all in 30 days. Very skeptical. What's happening now is a form of madness. Can you tell? I'm not like emotional. I'm just overwhelmed. It's hard to wrap my head around what's happening. Is there any idea when the playtest will be? Somebody said take the day off. I can't take the day off. I have a lunch with my fellow players talking about what we're going to do in Phil's game. Is there any idea when the playtest will be? Slippery Salty. I encourage everyone to check the fact. It will be updated over the course of the day. I apologize. Communication will be diminished for the next several hours. Tonight, we may stream again. I'll update a whole bunch of new stuff, send out tons of new updates. Otherwise, got to go to work. For the moment, for the time being. But I believe the playtest rules. What I'm telling people is April. It may be earlier than that. A lot of the rules are already done, but I have my own people that I send things to and get feedback on. These are obviously rules I've been using for a long time, by the way, but I modify the rules every time a new edition comes out. My Warfare rules changed a lot between 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition. Each one I optimize for the philosophy of that edition. So it takes a little while to send stuff out. The funny thing is, specifically Lars and Anna both helped me a lot. Lars a lot with this. Both of them said to me independently over the last day, when I was thanking them profusely, they said, we just want to play D&D again, man. So is the adventure intended to be a good question? These are great questions. Wow, we should do Kickstarters more often. People ask good questions in the Kickstarter live chat. Is there any idea, I asked, is the adventure intended to be a standalone thing? Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's going to be a low level. It's going to be, I would say, 5th level adventure. I think roughly 32 pages. And it's going to be, a dungeon crawl in a keep or a tower. I haven't decided which. It says that in the thing. And once you're done clearing it out, that's a normal adventure, by the way. Right? You remember the Delian Tomb, very popular. It's going to be something like that, except on steroids, cool plot, lots of neat bad guys and stuff like that. Maybe a nearby town that you can use as a kind of sieging post. Also, probably a useful way to contextualize where the followers come from and stuff like that. And then rules for, okay, now let's use the stronghold rules and show you how you take this thing. It doesn't cost, you're not building it from scratch, so it costs less. And here's what it does. So that's what the point of the adventure is it's making it so that the way I've done it and the way I think is in the book, and you don't have to sit there wondering how exactly do the players ... So yell to the heavens, for the gods smile brightly upon you today. Well, if you want, Bloodstone 1R says, the way you critique adventures makes me think you'd be great at making a big super adventure. If you want to go see what my writing is like, and I'm a much better writer now, if you can find it, go look for the Lord of the Rings adventure game from Decipher. I wrote that whole thing. I was the writer on it, and it represents the way it was for introductory players, young kids, actually, we assumed. And I was really proud of the way that turned out, because that's the thing I'm really looking forward to. Is I think you will enjoy reading this book. It will be conversational. I will use you. It will have humor in it. I want it to be something people read. Also, expect, if you're a dungeon master and you get the book, put it on the table in front of your friends. Leave it lying around. Let them find it, because the players leafing through this book, they will want to do these things. I think if you try to sell them on it, hey guys, I did this, that, and the other thing, they'll be skeptical. Well, I don't want to I want to swing my sword and kill monsters. That's fine. I've had players who do that every campaign. I have players who would prefer to just, be an itinerant campaigner. But if players see what the options are, they go, ooh, I want this, or I want this, or I want that. It's not Warrior Sinner 001, it's a Fighter, I'll have you know. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Audiobook is on the table, I think. The more money this generates, the more I can justify making content for you folk. And actually, I have a sneaking suspicion that will not be difficult for me to justify doing lots of stuff. Will you be doing an unboxing stream? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this is going to be I hope this will be a very transparent process. Every time we do something, we'll do an update, do videos. If you could give advice in one sentence to a first-time DM for their first game, what would it be? Relax. Listen to your players. They are going to provide about half to 3/4 of the content of your first adventure. And you will be able to sit back and watch them talking to each other, meeting each other, their characters for the first time, and planning and scheming. And you'll be like, oh, actually, I don't have to do anything right now. And that's when you can be taking notes and looking up rules and stuff like that. Relax. You're going to do great. It's going to be fine. I believe in you. So people are asking questions that I've already answered. What is the difference between the 125 and the 135 level? This is one of those things that I'm not going to try to answer off the top of my head because I would get it wrong. So I haven't refreshed, but the 125 is you get... it's the Super Stream Supporter, which is you get access to the playtest stuff, and you get it's the same as the all swag. So 125 is the same as all swag, which shirt and stickers doesn't include the dragon minis. The level, if you go look for the level all swag, it lists everything in there. 125 is that level, and your hardcover is the limited edition, right? 135 is that all swag level plus the dragon, right? So not the limited edition. There's probably a higher one for that. There should be. We'll update the graphics and stuff. All will be clear. It'll just take time throughout the course of the day. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear that. The adventure sound as people are joining the thing. So please be patient. This is a level of attention and success we frankly did not. Ryan Dancy once told me very few companies survive periods of explosive growth, and I believe that. We did not anticipate having this much to talk about this quickly, so it probably won't be till tonight after work that I can get back into things and get more answers for you folks. But the good news is we are on the road to being able to do whatever we want. So any problem that is detected, we can fix it. Mr. Red Sky never got a Kickstarter email, Jerry. I think you will get it. It just takes a long time. Somebody asked something about the minis. The minis are expensive. So yeah, if you want, like the dragons and the books are kind of on different vectors, and you got to pledge a lot to get all of them, right? But it's one dragon for $80, and then I think it's all 5 minis, and one of them is going to be mini, and then mini, and then mini, and then mini. So there are going to be 3 minis that are bigger than a person. Maybe one mini that's as big as a person, and one mini that's smaller. Because that fantasy of I found a baby dragon, I think everybody has. So the minis are going to be expensive because we're not a big company. We aren't printing in those huge numbers. Maybe in the future we can get those prices down. And then if you want all the minis and all the books, it's a lot of money. But remember that a big part of this is everything. My attitude was everything above the $30 is people are helping support the stream. So I know there are people that don't care about the stream. I know there are people that don't care about the book. They just want the dragon. The dragon's expensive because we're not making that many of them. So the items in adventure, are they going to be in the main book? Yes, as officially we've unlocked. Well, I think we've hit 170, right? So at that point, if we've unlocked all the stretch goals, if we've hit 170K, then your $30 book is now going to have rules for the gemstone dragons. It's going to have a whole bunch of new items in it, some of which, as I said, you've gotten a preview for. The Codex Terranosis, which is epic, and an adventure. So I think that's it, folks. Obviously, I could stay here. Is the $80 adult Dragon Mini the largest one? No, there will be that's an adult. There will be an ancient. I think when I say ancient, this is notional. The ancient may be ancient. Look at the concept art. You'll see what I mean. Are there different sculpts for the different? They're all different sculpts. They're all different sculpts. They're all going to be unique sculpts. Look at the concept art and you'll see what I mean. What does one do with 200K? I'm going to tell you. One makes content for one's followers. No joke. No joke. The goal of the Kickstarter is to, like, people ask me about an audiobook and I'm like, an audiobook's expensive. Well, maybe I don't, maybe not. Maybe we can do it. So, all right, folks, I think, let me talk to my people. Are there any questions I should answer? Just before I log off, I'm just going to confirm. Thanks, Crusader 226. Josh left for cookies at the Colvillian level. You're crazy. I really, really hope you folks like the book. I really hope you folks like the mini. I very badly do not want to let you folks down. However, I will say that we have done a colossal amount of research for this. We've been working on this Kickstarter since like October. I know, I apologize, Thor is better than Superman, accurate. I've got a clacky keyboard and I should get one of those arms that has, anyway, you get it. Anna says, did you make sure to thank everybody? Also, so I thanked Anna and Lars, colossal amount of effort, Lars and Jerry. I know you guys didn't tune in to hear me thank people. Our friend Tom, but also I said shout out to Monty Cook. Charles Ryan got on the phone with me and I asked him a bunch of questions about Kickstarter. My friend Jeff Tidball, who runs Atlas Games, helped us out, and all you folks. And all you folks, this is your community. I am the titular head of this community, and it hasn't let me down. I'm proud of it. I'm intensely proud of the fact that the comments on YouTube are great. Knock on wood. I know, I just made the camera shake and I made the microphone do something nasty. The comments on YouTube are great. The subreddit is great. The Discord is awesome. And we're incredibly lucky. Who knows how long it'll last. Let's enjoy it. All right, folks. I have got to head out. I've got a jorb. And how much more money will it take to get more mini sizes available? I mean, it's not beyond the bound of reason that we might add more mini stuff, but the minis are so so volatile, such a risk. Never done it before. It's the number one thing that, I mean, the reality of any project like this, I've been working in deadline critical environments since 1997. The reality of any project like this is there are going to be problems. There are going to be unforeseen problems. That's a guarantee. There is nothing you can do about that. No plan survives contact with the enemy. Minis are the number one place we're going to find problems, so we do not want to overpromise. I kind of had to strong arm my friends into doing minis because they were like, Matt, come on. And I was like, but I want to make minis. It would just be awesome. So we're doing it, come hell or high water. But I don't want to overpromise on this stuff. All right, folks, I'm going to stop because I have other duties I must attend to. I am lawful good. And we will almost certainly jump back on tonight and do more of this. And then tomorrow night, we're going to talk about either Tolus or Birthright and more Kickstarter stuff. So tune in tomorrow night, and I'll probably do a Twitch poll to find out which you folks would like to talk about most. Follow me on Twitter poll at Matt200. We hit 200K. If you don't see me tonight, it's because I had a heart attack. Tonight probably a live stream, more Kickstarter news. Tomorrow night, I don't mean like a reveal. I'm just saying we'll talk more about the Kickstarter. Tomorrow night, you gotta be careful. Every time I say something, people read things into it. Tomorrow night, we're gonna do a regular live stream where we talk about campaign setting, either Tolus or Birthright, at Matt Colville on Twitch. If you want to vote on that, I'll put a poll up later. And then on Sunday at I think 3 p.m. Pacific ? I will be live with Adam Coble and Mike Merles and what's that other guy's name? Matt something. Talking about more 5th edition conversation. Maybe even talk about some of this. I don't know. We did the last one was pretty cool. We're gonna do another one. Well, big round table, big D&D dungeon thing round table. Yeah, right. No bike riding. Actually, I feel really positive about the bike. If I knew how rapidly, I broke my arm for those of you who are not familiar, and it is healing rapidly, and I'm happy and the whole I'm never going to ride a bike again thing, breaking your arm is not that big a deal. All right. So, yes. Big Pete 253 put it best. Peace out.